Hello, I'm Carolyn Herbert from the Finance News Network, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined from Singapore by renowned hedge fund investor and financial markets expert Jim Rogers to talk about what's expected from global financial markets in 2017. Jim, welcome to FNN, and thanks very much for joining us.
I'm delighted to be here, Carolyn. I'm a fan.
Thank you, Jim. Well, first up, global stock markets have rallied since the election of President Donald Trump at the start of this year. Do you think this response is justified?
Well, Mr. Trump has said a lot of good things, and the central banks around the world have printed a lot of money. So you put the easy money, lots of money together with good promises. Sure, it's great. If he does what he says, the good things, we're all going to have a wonderful time for a while, Carolyn.
But Jim, you are positioning yourself for a global financial meltdown should Mr. Trump fail to fulfill his promises. So what's your time frame there?
Well, Carolyn, it depends on Mr. Trump. It could be today. He promised many times a 45% tariff on China the first day, that he would name them a currency manipulator, that he would have a trade war with Mexico and Japan and Korea. It's been 2 months. He hasn't done any of these things. So you have to ask him. I don't, maybe he's just a politician who says what he wants to and then does something else. Nobody has ever won a trade war, Carolyn. They always wind up disasters for everybody, not just the people involved.
So in times of financial turmoil, Jim, the US dollar and gold have traditionally been seen as safe haven assets. So are there any other commodities or sectors investors should seriously be considering?
Well, agriculture, I mean, if we do have chaos and disaster, being a farmer is going to be one of the best things you can possibly do. Your US dollar, I own a lot of US dollars because I'm expecting problems. But in the end, the safest safe haven is agriculture. Have a farm and learn how to be a farmer. I don't have a farmer because I would not be a good farmer.
Well, as you say, Jim, you hold a lot of the US dollar. So what's your outlook for the greenback?
I own a lot of US dollars, Carolyn. People look for a safe haven in times of turmoil. The US dollar is not a safe haven, but people think it is because of historical reasons. The US is now the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. But I own a lot of them because turmoil is coming. The dollar will go higher, might get overpriced, might turn into a bubble. I hope I'm smart enough to sell at that point.
Very good. So, Jim, you've previously spoken about how you also like the energy space. So is oil something people should be looking at?
Well, energy is making a complicated bottom. We're going to look back in a year or two and see that in 2015, 16, 17, oil prices made their low. I expect another drop down before it makes that low. But at that point, people should probably buy energy because the known reserves of oil continue to decline except for fracking. And fracking cannot make money unless prices are most fracking cannot make money unless things are much higher.
And now to a bit of a change of topic, Jim. Turning to interest rates, the US Fed have indicated they're going to raise rates twice again this year. So what's your view on that?
Well, interest rates are certainly going higher. I look at the market more than I look at the Fed. The Fed basically has always followed the market, but interest rates will go higher one way or another. Now, Carolyn, when problems start arising again, the Fed is going to panic and cut rates or print money because they don't know what they're doing. They're bureaucrats and academics. They've never gotten it right.
Well, Jim, aside from the Federal Reserve being in the spotlight, 2016 was a tumultuous year for global financial markets. We had events such as Brexit and the election of President Donald Trump. So what events should we be aware of for 2017?
You should be prepared for lots of things. Carolyn, you have a lot of job security because there's going to be so much going on in the world. Somebody's got to report it. There are going to be bankruptcies, turmoil, election surprises in Germany, France, other places. So you're at the right place. They need journalists and reporters now.
Well, that's very good to know. So we're more than a quarter of the way through 2017. How do you think President Trump will perform for the rest of the year?
Well, Mr. Trump, if he starts trade wars, the whole world is going to collapse, Carolyn. I mean, that's it. It's over. History is very clear about that. If he does the other things, cut taxes, builds infrastructure, brings the money back to the U.S., gets rid of regulations, the market will like it, and the market will go up for a while. I mean, I wouldn't say more than a few months, but it will certainly go up for a while. But if he starts all those other things that he promised us he would do, you should be very worried.
Well, that's definitely something we should be watching out for. Jim Rogers, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure, Carolyn. Anytime. Bye-bye.